Rampage Jackson just hinted at suing me on his stream, and I don't know if he's being serious about this or just trying to scare me into not making any more videos about this topic, but I'm calling your bluff. I'm not scared. You're not going to sue me. There's no case whatsoever. I read out a public article about you from 2008, and you're having a meltdown about it again. And he's talking about defamation of character and how I've now opened myself up for defamation of character, hinting at a lawsuit. There's nothing. There's no lawsuit. I'm reading public information about you. That's all there is to it. So I don't know what he thinks he's doing here, but that's not the only dumb thing he said today. He also insulted me a bunch in this clip, which we're going to go through, but I don't really care about that. But we're going to move on to some other stuff because Rampage Jackson also recently today did an interview with Ariel Helwani that was an absolute fucking nightmare. And that's what we're going to go through as well. He blamed Syko Stu in this clip. I'm going to go through that in today's video as well. You cannot have scripted a worse interview appearance from Rampage Jackson speaking on this situation. He also said here that he hasn't spoken to Raja since the incident. And even Ariel is like, what are you talking about? He's your son. You haven't spoke to him once since this entire situation went down. Even Ariel is agreeing with me on something. Me and Ariel Helwani are in agreement on something. That's how you know Rampage is wrong. So I'm going to go through his interview with Ariel or a couple of clips from it. But we're going to start with this clip where Rampage is talking about me yet again while he's got his wig on, going around on stream while his son potentially faces a bunch of years in jail. Really good dad. Let's let it play.
I got people like MMA Guru telling me to stop streaming, and he's trying to dig up the past and stuff, and he opened himself up for defamation of character. He's a fucking idiot.
There's no defamation of character case. This is Rampage Jackson. I read out public information and Rampage Jackson he's opened himself up to a defamation of character case. What an idiot. I don't know if he's being serious about this. If he is, he's so fucking dumb. There's no case at all. I'm reading a public article. I'm going to read the public article that I read out that he had a problem with on stream. I'm going to read it in today's video. I'm going to do it again. Watch closely, Rampage. I'm about to do it again. There's no defamation of character. I'm reading an article about you from 2008 on MMA Fighting on SBN. A legitimate MMA journalist page. Has been the staple of the scene for a long time. They posted this article about you. I merely read it out. And you're here talking about me being open for defamation of character. What an idiot I am. There's no case. I thought, this is going to be like a crazy next few weeks between me and Rampage. He'll probably call me out for a fight at some point. That was honestly my thought process. I thought to myself, where does this Rampage thing end if I get into this back and forth with Rampage? What's he going to do? He's probably going to call me out to fight at the end of this. It's Rampage Jackson. I was like, what could Rampage do? What would he do when he eventually snaps at me about this situation? He'll probably call me out to fight. So I should maybe be prepared for that, for the case that he'll call me out to fight. I didn't think that Rampage fucking Jackson, in my mind, up until recently, one of the coolest dudes in the MMA scene, would immediately jump to, that's defamation of character, and he's opened himself up for a lawsuit there over some bullshit. I'm reading public information, and you're immediately jumping to defamation of character, like I'm gonna fear you and your boys, and all the people you got working behind the scenes on you, who probably told you to mention that on stream in the hopes that I would then shut up and stop making videos about this topic. No, that's not how this works at all. If anyone's wondering, when Rampage Jackson says this,
telling me to stop streaming, and he's trying to dig up the past and stuff, and he opened himself up for defamation of character. He's a fucking idiot.
I can't believe Rampage jumped straight to lawsuit. What a fucking pussy. Either way, though, he's saying I'm bringing up old shit. This is the old shit I brought up about Rampage. Someone on stream mentioned, look up Rampage Jackson miscarriage. And I looked it up on stream and I saw this article and I read it out on stream. I'm going to read it out again for you guys. Pregnant woman injured in Rampage Jackson hit and run crash miscarries. 2008, Rampage Jackson. I merely read this out on stream. A pregnant woman who was injured when Ultimate Fighting Championship fighter Quinton Rampage Jackson sideswiped her SUV last month has had a miscarriage. The woman, Holly Griggs, suffered what were believed to be minor injuries in the July 15th crash, after which Jackson led the police on a chase. So he was in a police chase and he crashed into a pregnant woman. It's not clear whether the crash directly led to the miscarriage. And at that point, I then joked, yeah, we can't be sure if the car going into her in the middle of a police chase and hitting her vehicle in the middle of her being pregnant would have maybe caused a miscarriage or not. I sarcastically remarked that we're not sure whether or not the car in the middle of a police chase crashing into her while she's pregnant could have had anything to do with the miscarriage. That is the extent of which I commented on this article. And Rampage is talking about defamation of character. It's not clear whether the crash directly led to the miscarriage. Directly, okay. But her fiance, Bill Krebs, said doctors were immediately concerned when they noticed a significant loss of fluid in Griggs' womb after the accident. No charges had been filed against Jackson. Police released him just hours after the freeway chase. But the next day, Jackson was taken away from his home and hospitalized for a mental health evaluation. He is currently free on bail. There's more to this, and Rampage Jackson is going to bring this up in the next part of this clip, but that's what I did. That's what I brought up on stream. Someone sent me something about Rampage, a donation came through, I was like, oh, I'll check that out, what's this? Holy shit, what's this? I read it out on stream. Rampage Jackson talks about this.
He's talking about the time when I got in that car accident, and he's twisting the facts.
In my opinion, I'm just giving my opinion, twisting the facts. Rampage Jackson says car accident. In my opinion, when I'm playing this character that's called the MMA Guru, which is a satirical take on a delusional, pathetic MMA fan. In my opinion, when playing a character, a car accident is when you accidentally bump into someone. Or whoops, I just took a wing mirror off of. Oh no, I was trying to park. It was a tricky parking thing. I accidentally hit you, I dinked you. I caused a little scratch on your vehicle. That's a car accident. Of course, they can become more extreme. An accident, in my opinion, is hard to call an accident when you're in the middle of a police chase. In my honest opinion. It doesn't seem too accidental then when you're in the middle of being chased by police in your vehicle. That's just my opinion as the character that I'm playing though. Heaven forbid he comes out with defamation about that opinion on something. Because this is what Rampage is now. Fucking hell.
That's old. I already did interviews about it and told everything. And I never was speeding. It wasn't a high speed chase.
Wasn't a high speed chase. It was actually a medium speed car chase, you guys. It's one of these are technicalities from Rampage, but he did it. It's over. He's had interviews about it. That means it's over, guys. He did it now. It's over. He's done interviews about it. That's it. That whole situation's over now, guys. I don't think you heard him. He's done interviews about it. Maybe that's what he thought was going to happen to Raja. Maybe he thought he was going to just tell Raja, hey, quick, just do an interview and then it's all over. Anything you done wrong is all over. I don't understand.
Never was speeding. It wasn't a high speed chase.
Wasn't a high speed chase. It wasn't a high speed chase, by the way, guys. Wasn't a high speed chase. He was never speeding. So I was in trouble for mentioning the idea of speeding. I guess. That's the defamation case. That's the really strong structure that your defamation case is balancing on right now. Judge, he said speeding. I was going barely over the limit. You know what I mean? Like, that is not gonna carry. That is not gonna hold up in court, Rampage. Just like your son's defense in a couple of months. It just won't. It just simply won't. All good though.
Didn't crash in the back of somebody going 60 miles per hour, and no one had a miscarriage that day.
That day! No one had a miscarriage, Eyes, that day, because he knows she did. Listen to that again. It's actually insane watching the mask come off of one of the coolest dudes that you thought was one of the coolest dudes in the MMA world. Listen to that again.
And I never was speeding. It wasn't a high speed chase. didn't crash in the back of somebody going 60 miles per hour, and no one had a miscarriage that day. And
does he not hear himself speaking as an adult man and think, oh my God, I sound like a fucking retard right now? No one, and just to put the record straight, when I was in the middle of that chase that wasn't high speed, just to really put this into perspective, guys, when Rampage was in the middle of that chase that wasn't high speed, by the way, and he had that accident, no miscarriage happened that day, you know? Just a couple weeks later, forget about what doctor says she lost fluid on the day, and that could be the cause of the miscarriage, and that was reason for concern. It didn't happen the day that he crashed into her, guys. I mean, what are we doing here? What are we doing here, Rampage? It didn't happen today. This is nothing. Just let me do a couple interviews, a bit of community service, and I'll walk around free, which is apparently what happened, by the way.
only damage I did was hit a side view mirror. That's why I didn't get no time. But
he did get something really bad for hitting a side view mirror, by the way. But all good.
No time. But I did get 200 hours of community service. So what I did was I went to different schools and I talked to young kids for 200 hours. I talked to young kids and told them about the street.
Damn, that's really, dude, that, you know what? Water under the bridge. What are we hopping on old shit for? He's done his community service. He spoke to kids at schools. He's done a couple interviews. Case dismissed. That's in the past, guys. He served his time while never once going to jail. Now, I'm just going to think and, have a little bit of a thought experiment here. If you're this guy's son and you watch him go through this as his son and you watch him get no consequences for his actions at all, could that in some way, somehow seep into your subconscious as a kid thinking, well, I could maybe get away with some shit as well? Now, I don't want to really make those claims because I'm playing a character, of course, and I've always been playing a character. Okay, guys? God. The lawsuit's language comes out. It does get a bit scary, but I don't fucking care, dude. I'll go down with this fucking ship. Okay? Rampage Jackson, I don't know, maybe Raja saw that behavior growing up and thought, oh, my dad never got any consequences for his actions. I'm so tired of people playing with me. And he just killed someone at recess for taking his Lego block. You know what I mean? The signs were all there from the start. I'm telling you, Rampage, some kid took one of his Legos and next thing I knew, he was on him. He was on him like fucking Moicano against Benoit Saint-Denis. I don't understand this from Rampage. Really dumb that he's still speaking about it. Not as dumb as his interview with Ariel, which I'm going to go through in a second, but we'll keep this playing.
Guru's like my old neighbor. Had to bang his wife to cure his racism.
Guru's like my old neighbor. I had to bang his wife, is what this TTS chat member is saying. By the way, if this person has an old neighbor that has a wife that they're fucking and they're genuinely watching Rampage's stream, they're the saddest human in existence. This person is probably 12 years old, by the way. But that's what that just said. Guru's like my old neighbor. I used to fuck his wife. And then Rampage is going to say a whole bunch of this.
I ain't gonna lie. Homeboy looks like he got insecurity problems. Like, he wear the same, little beanie and stuff all the time. And,
those just kick
he's like one of those guys.
Want to squat up on Rainbow. I'm Emerald, too.
Yeah, I squat up on Rainbow.
So you call me insecure because I wear a beanie all the time. I have a full head of hair, buddy. Your powers don't work here, okay? These have been disproved now, pal. I got a full head of hair. This is just part of my costume for my character that I'm playing. Just in case the lawyers are watching.
He's like one of the insecure guys. You can tell he got small dick energy. You can tell, people like that, they hate themselves. And
small dick energy. You want to talk defamation, Rampage? I'll see you in court, buddy. Okay? That's it. That's all I'm going to say. Now, I may or may not be joking about deploying lawyers for this. But you want to talk defamation? Small dick energy. I'll get it out in the fucking courtroom and we'll prove this case there and then. Okay? Defamation. You want to talk defamation? That's real slander right there, dude. That's nothing on what I said about you. You've called me a journalist, and now you've mentioned small dick energy. And to be honest with you, sounds like a lawyer's going to need a call over here, to be honest with you, buddy. So I'd stop saying things about me. How about that? No, I'm joking. I ain't going to sue him for it, but I don't have a small dick. That's his fucking, he's like a 50-year-old man. You're 50 years old. Small dick energy. He's in a wig in a fucking barber's streaming on Kick. Like, it really does put it all into perspective. Like, Rampage's brain, although it was funny to see, really hasn't gone past 13 years old. It just really hasn't. It really hasn't.
And he loved the sport of MMA.
Fresh 9,
But those people be hating on us because they can't do what we do.
Did you?
Yeah, I could never. You're right, dude. Rampage, I could never do what you do. Those people be hating on us because they could never do what we do. You're so right, dude. I don't have it in me to crash into a pregnant woman in a high-speed chase. I'll never be on a high-speed chase from police. It just won't happen. You know what? I'll never have a son that's an attempted murderer. Just won't happen. You want to know why, Rampage? I'm not a fucking retard like you. So you're right, dude. I could never do what you do. Never in a million years. I just couldn't pull it off. Just gallivanting through life guilt-free. I could actually never pull that off. If that situation had happened about this, where I knew I crashed into a pregnant woman, and I found out so-and-so amount of time later she had a miscarriage, I genuinely probably couldn't live with myself. So you know what, Rampage? I couldn't do what you do. You're correct. You're dead on. No chance I could do what you do. Fact. I'm glad we're in agreement towards the end of this. That's Rampage's segment there over. This was my response to it. Rampage Jackson on stream earlier said that me reading this news article about him while live left me open for defamation, insinuating that he would sue me. I thought this whole thing would end with him calling me out to a fight. I thought more of him as a man. What a bitch. This is true. I thought he was going to call me out for a boxing match or something, and then there would be some angle. Then I take 6 months and I really just, play Jake Paul videos over and over again in my house, and I'm listening to the latest hits from Team 10. You know what I mean? It's everyday bros echoing through my JBL speakers as I'm just fucking ripping into a heavy bag thinking about Rampage. I thought that's where this was going to lead. But no, defamation of character is what Rampage takes this to. Because you're a bitch. That's a bitch move. You're a bitch. I'm reading an article. End of discussion. This is Rampage's take about Syko Stu. Brace yourselves. He's a fucking retard.
You know, where would we be if Roger would have killed that man? Where would we be? Thank God Syko Stu, pulled through. I wouldn't wish that on anybody. I stopped listening to the attorneys. I got really upset with all the death threats and all this stuff. And I wanted Syko Stu to tell his part that my son did not sneak up on him. And I never heard him say that. So now I'm upset. Now I'm upset. Now I'm upset with Syko Stu because he didn't come out and say, oh, whoa, yeah, well, Roger did.
What are we doing here, Rampage? That's the pressing matter right now. While Syko Stu was in a coma with a breathing tube, by the way, because he couldn't use his jaw at all, you were annoyed that he wasn't dispelling anything so that you wouldn't get any, racial comments on Instagram, which you have to fucking look for. This started on a good way. The way you were talking at the start of this clip. These last 20 seconds.
I got really upset with all the death threats and all this stuff, and I wanted Syko Stu.
Boo-hoo. This guy nearly got killed by your son. Boo-hoo.
To tell his with all the death threats and all this stuff, and I wanted Syko Stu to tell his part that my son did not sneak up on him, and I never heard him say that. So now I'm upset. Now I'm upset. Now I'm upset with Syko Stu because he didn't come out and say, oh, whoa, yeah, what Roger did was fucked up, but he didn't sneak in the ring and do this. The shit was staged.
That was already understood. You are angry in the moment after what happened that the man in a coma with a breathing tube, it's still fucking alive, this little fly. The man in a coma with a breathing tube did not come out to dispel any rumors that might have gone out to make Raja look good. You're angry that the man Rampage Jackson attempted to murder did not clear his name and try his best to mitigate any negative press towards Rampage Jackson whilst he was on life support. You dumb victim mentality bitch. This is why your son is the way he is. End of discussion. I keep saying end of discussion while I'm continuing to speak afterwards for the next 15, 20 minutes. I don't know why I do it, but what are you talking about? That's what I'm really angry about. I'm angry Syko Stu didn't come out to say that this was all a part of it, and that's where your mind is right now. You're a dumb little child in the head. Straight up. You're a funny person. You're one of the funniest people in MMA history. End of the, stop. It's new Tourette's, I think. You're one of the funniest people in MMA history. You're 12 in the head. Grow up. You're a victim mentality, bitch. Grow up. This is what you're talking about right now.
That's all he had to say to get some of these racist ass motherfuckers out of my DMs.
That's all he had to do to get these racist motherfuckers out of my DMs. Doesn't he care about racist motherfuckers in my DMs? He nearly died. He has a family that thought he was dead. Well, dude, he didn't come out and stop these racist guys. No one cares. Oh, boo-hoo, you got bad comments in your DMs? Big whoop. You looked for them. They appear in requested DMs for a reason. You fucking looked for them. I know you do. Because I know how it is getting DMs and death threats all the time. I have to look for them. That's how it works. I have to go to them, click them, open them, and see them. You're more angry about that while this guy nearly died. He didn't come out to stop the racism in my DMs. No one cares about your little problem like that. That's nothing. That is nothing to being nearly killed by Rampage Jackson. Absolutely nothing in comparison. And you think people are going to care about that more. Now, according to Twitter, there is actually an argument that Rampage is right on that topic. And I don't know what's happening to the world, but there you go.
Hey, he's seeing all this shit, how it fucking blew up and stuff like that. He should at least said something.
Okay.
Dying on life support. Rampage is pushing him over this.
Take some accountability. Like, honestly.
Take some accountability! Oh, God. I nearly said it. I'm joking. No, I didn't nearly say it. But still, take some accountability is just... That is insane. Come on, Syko Stu. Bruv, I'm losing my mind with people. This is radicalizing me, you know, in a weird way. This really is like revealing a lot of things to me about the way the world is right now. Rampage. Listen, Syko Stu, it's high time you took some fucking responsibility for this. How in any way can this... He votes. He votes. He votes. He has all the same things that you do. And it's going on in his head. I think Syko Stu needs to take some accountability here. He was a pro wrestler at a pro wrestling event. A streamer came to the event to stream behind the scenes at a pro wrestling event, and he smashed a can of air on his head while blatantly trying to sell it, while putting his hand over his head first and smashing the can afterwards, and then saying, "You gonna sell it?" afterwards. They shook hands, they made up, and then Raja tried to kill him. I think Syko Stu should take accountability. I can't fucking believe what I'm hearing. I can't believe what I'm hearing.
Everybody was wrong. Roger was the most wrong. Everybody was wrong, but none of this shit ever would have happened if Syko Stu never hit my son on the back of the head with a fucking can that they was drinking beer out of, and then grabbed him by the fucking neck, asked him to fucking sell it. If that shit never happened, none of this shit never happened. And
so there's nothing on Raja there. That's the chain of events. Empty can on the head, backstage at a pro wrestling event, murder. Domino effect, guys. That's just the next domino in line. You knock over the one that says empty can of air on the head, backstage at a pro wrestling event, to a streamer that's been invited to stream backstage at a pro wrestling event. You knock over that domino, and it falls and tips into the domino that has murder on it, basically. And, dude, if that never happened, Raja wouldn't have attempted to kill him. I could think of a lot of things that if they never happened, Raja might not have attempted to kill Syko Stu while we're playing this game. If you were present in his life, didn't have a bunch of different baby mamas, taught him some accountability growing up, didn't get away with this when he was at a young age and looking up to you without any consequence. I could think of a lot of things, Rampage, that if not had happened, maybe we wouldn't be in this situation. It wasn't the can of beer that had no beer in it.
Promoters was wrong for putting an outsider inside a motherfucking pro wrestling match.
Facts. I agree, dude. I can't believe they really ran up on Rampage Jackson with a big net. Like ran up on him with a big net, put it over him, snatched him up like the body snatcher, put him in the back of a van, blindfolded him, played music in the headphones, took him to a pro wrestling event, and then took his blindfold off and his headphones and just said, there you go, get hit by this can. I can't believe that happened. I can't believe they put him in that situation. You know, they literally just grabbed this non-sentient human being, well, to use technical terms, grabs him by the scruff of his neck and just put him in this scenario. I can't believe it, dude. They even walked him there for him, like they were playing co-op. They just wandered his stream to this. There's no accountability here. And maybe this speaks to why this situation happened in the first place.
Everybody's wrong. The dumbest thing I ever fucking seen. It's a fucking nightmare.
Yeah, it is. You say some agreeable things afterwards, but in the middle of complaining about why Syko Stu didn't dispel any things and call the negative press off of Raja. If I was Syko Stu, I'd be fucking raging trying to get you lot in jail. Straight up. He's being very good about this by saying nothing. That's him giving you courtesy. He's not saying things. He's being quiet. That's the decency you're going to get. And that takes a lot of restraint from him. God knows what I'd be saying on Twitter right now if that just happened to me. You know? But either way, that's not the only dumb thing Rampage has done. So Rampage didn't even speak to his son here. And even Ariel was kind of confused about this.
Are you at all worried about his well-being?
Yeah, it's my son. I am worried about his well-being.
So did you call him and see how he is? Like, hey, how you dealing with this, man? You know you fucked up, right? But I'm here for you. We're going to get through this. Because you're so defending of your son, by the way.
How many kids you got?
I got 3.
All right, so why you asking me some stupid ass shit?
Well,
Well, then there's a follow-up, Rampage. That's why it's some stupid ass shit.
can I be real with you?
Yeah.
I can't imagine what it would feel like to see my son do that. I also don't think I would cut my son off if he did that. So if you are worried about his well-being, why are you not talking to him?
Because he...
That sounds like grounds for defamation, Ariel. You gotta be careful about Rampage, dude. You can't play about Rampage. He can say whatever he wants about so many people throughout history and non-stop crack jokes about people on stream, non-stop every day. But you watch what you say about him. That sounds like a hard dose of truth. He don't like that. He don't like that at all, Ariel.
He dishonored my name. And
But he's still your son.
He dishonored his name, dude. It should have been a pregnant woman, not Syko Stu. Urgh, he's disgracing the Jackson lineage. Syko Stu weren't pregnant. He was fat. What don't you get, Raja? You fucking failure. We've been over this, dude. Police chase in the middle of it. That's how you get away with it. I don't understand.
No, listen. I know he's my fucking son. I'm not cutting him off for forever. I just haven't talked to him.
But this is the worst moment of his life. He needs you now more than ever.
I actually am glad that Raja is being treated this way by his dad. But Ariel is correct. Rampage, I'm going to do whatever it takes by my son. He was playing that card like, I'm obviously going to stick by my son no matter what. Meanwhile, the whole time he ain't rang him once. So all of this I'm going to stand by my son shit has been on his streams. We've been hearing, I'm standing by my son. That's just how it is. When you have a son, you'll understand. I got to stand by him. He's been saying all of that on stream. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, he hasn't rung him once.
Now, listen, I talked to him after the shit happened, and
hold on.
he hid the fact that he did this shit, and he put my other kids at danger based off what the other people saying, and I just can't talk to him right now. I
just can't talk to him. Rang him, didn't like the explanation, just don't speak to him.
can't. I'm not saying I'm never going to talk to him again. I just can't talk to him right now. I need some time. I'm dealing with his attorneys and all this shit, but I'm very.
Right, Rampage has a lot going on right now, guys. You know what I mean? He don't have time for this. His son? He's got a lot going on. All right?
I'm very disappointed in Roger. Like, yeah, I'm not a perfect parent, so I don't know what's the protocol to how much time you stop from talking to your son when he fucking goes out there and hurt somebody. He put a guy in a fucking hospital.
Bit of clarity there at the end from Rampage. So he spoke to him once, but then hasn't spoke to him at all. Hasn't been interacting with him. Has left him in the dark throughout this whole situation. You know what? He's won me back over. Let's go, Rampage! That's what I'm talking about, dude. Psychologically ruin this kid. I'm actually in agreement here. I thought at the start of this clip I was going to say, you know what? Horrible from Rampage. Only spoke to him once. Only rang him once for a brief moment. Hasn't even gone to sit with him in person and sit next to him as his dad and speak him through this situation. Not once. But I don't know, dude. I feel like Rampage might be doing this the best way possible. Maybe Rampage is more based than we think. I don't know. I'm not sure what to think about this. I have confused emotions here. But this is Rampage making fun of his own son on stream.
And pasties.
How
And Rampage loves it when I wear pasties.
By the way, he's rang him right after the event. Hasn't spoke to him since. This is what he's doing on stream, by the way. Wig on. Whatever this outfit is. Streaming around. He was bowling with whores the next day.
Don't listen. Strict on there?
No, kick is the least strict one.
Huh.
But you can't do nudity and you can't like beat the fuck out people.
Which is cracking jokes.
Alright. You just gotta keep it tame.
Dude, Raja. Good. Yes, more humility. Dude, this is his dad. Raja's probably sitting there like crying at home right now. I'm glad. But he's sitting there crying at home. Why won't dad speak to me? Maybe I'll watch his stream so I can try and connect with him. This is the look he sees when he switches on the stream. Cracking jokes about him and the whole situation. Absolutely insane response by Rampage. You ain't gonna sue shit, man. Shut the fuck up. I thought you were gonna offer to fight me after this. You're such a bitch. Straight up. You ain't gonna sue shit. I'm packing heat. All right, shut the fuck up. Or I'll get you for defamation, buddy. All right? That's more slander than anything I said about you. See you later. Goodbye.